Now let us see, students. Today two more program we will discuss. That is not with the nested loop but with the normal execution of the loop. One is the reverse number and another is the palindrome number. Now reverse number, what it does, it is just suppose you are entering 4568, then it will give you the reverse as 8 6 5 and 4. This is the reverse number, that is the 4568. Now when the reverse and original will become same, so I'm taking 5 digit number, 2 digit 4 digit number only, 2442, and it is also generating its reverse 2442. When such these things will occur, then it is known as palindrome number. All right. So while doing the palindrome number, these two are connected actually. You have to do the reverse also at the same time. You have to do the if you are extending that reverse number program, then and we're checking the original number and the reverse number. If both of them are same, then it is called a palindrome number. Now let us see this see the execution. We will keep our whiteboard ready for the purpose of execution. Now let us see. First we are going to the reverse number execution. Fine. Now we are executing the program. First to see the execution, how it is appearing. Say I'm giving here 6578. Okay, so it will be 8756. Okay, it is 8756. Okay, the number has been reversed. Now you see out here, so the same thing we will take and we will just see how the program, how the iteration has been taken place. Here the simple thing has been, one number has been inputted and we are checking whether n is greater than 0 or not. Okay, so we are entering n as 6578. Okay, and s we have taken a value s equals to 0 and checking is 6578 greater, sorry, 6578 is greater than 0 or not. If it is 0 is greater than 0, yes, it is true. Then what is happening? We are finding out the remainder. R equals to 6578 modulus 10. How much the modulus is? It will be 8. Fine. Now in the next stage, what is, we are accumulating the reverse number, that is s equals to, first value of s is 0. 0 into 10 plus 8. How much it will become? It will become 0 into 10 is 0, 0 plus 8 is 8. Student, you see, in this way the last number has become the first digit of the reverse number, and we will continue our division. N equals to, taking some place, n equals to n divided by 10. N means how much? 6578 divided by 10. Then what will be the quotient? So this one is actually modulus is actually returning the remainder, and this slash symbol is returning the quotient. So what it will be? It will be 657 will be the quotient if you are dividing. Now again, now n has become now no longer be 6578, 657 it has become. Now what is the value of s? S equals to, s has become how much? 8. All right, now it is checking, is 657 greater than 0? Yes, of course it is true. Then r equals to how much? 657 modulus 10. Then what will be the result? Result will be 7. Now s is, you see out here, s value, it was now no longer in the second stage. This is the first iteration, this is the second iteration. Now s value is 8. 8 into 10 plus how much? 7. How much it will be? 87. Correct? Now you see the both the digits 8 7 has been generated. Now n equals to how much? Now n value is 657. 657 divided by 10, then what will be the quotient? 65. So the loop, when it will enter in the third iteration, n value will be 65. Now what is the s value in the third rotation? Third iteration, it has become 87. So 87. Now it will check, is 65 greater than 0? Yes, it is. So it will give you the result as true. Now the R will be calculated. R will be how much? 65 modulus 10. How much it will become? It will become 5. Now what will be the value of S will be accumulated? Now S value is 87. So 87 into 10 plus 5. So it will give you 875, and n will be again in the third rotation. At the end, n will be divided by again 10. So what will be the quotient return? 6. Now see, we have got the first three digits 8, 7 and 5. Yes, once again, now what is happening? Now it has become 6. Now what is the value of n now? N will be 6. Okay, you try to understand, try to get the steps as I'm doing. These are all the iterative steps. So we are right now on the fourth iteration. Okay, this is the way you see how the values are changing, how the values are updating in each and every step of the loop. So that is why the loop, in the loop updation is one important issue. All right. So what you have to do is you have to understand here first. You see how it is generating here. So this side it is decreasing, this side it is increasing. Now the thing is that what we will do is equals to how much. Now it has become 875. You can see out here. So it will be 875. So previously it was s equals to 0. Now 8. Next is 87. Now it has become 875. Now it will check with 875 is greater than 0. Yes, true. Yes, of course it is true. So the thing is that, not sorry, I'm very sorry, not 875, it will be now n value. No, this is the n. So it will become 6. 6 is greater than 0. Yes, it is also true. Fine. Now what is happening? It will come out here. R equals to how much? 6 modulus 10. So 6 modulus 10 will return how much? 6, because the divisor has become greater than the dividend. That is why, that is the nature. 0 times it will go. The 6 minus 0, when you are dividing, it returns 6 only. Now next what is happening, when it is going to S, then S will take the value, previous value, that is 875. 875 into 10 plus 6. Then what will be the value? Finally 875 and 6. All right. So next what is happening? N will be again divided by 0. What is the value of n now? 6 modulus 0. Sorry, 6 modulus 10. Sorry, the divisor operator, division operator. So what will be the quotient? Quotient will be 0, because it is not going at all, and this is not a decimal division. These are not a float division or something like that. It's a normal division, so it will given as 0. Then what is happening here? Then it will not take any other point or decimal values and all. Simply it will come out here, n equals to 0 will be assigned, and here it is coming how much? S equals to 875 and 6. You can see out here, when we have executed 6578, it is coming here also the 8756, and I also got 8756. Now it will check, n is now has become 0. 0 is greater than 0. No, the question is false. Here the question is false. So what is happening? Loop terminates. Okay, loop terminates. So now finally S will have the value 8756, and that has been printed as the reverse number. So in this way, the total simulation of reverse occurs when we are doing the while loop or the for loop or any other type of loop. This is actually the simulation of for. We can call it also dry run, because when you don't have the computer machine in front of you or computer system in front of you, in this way also you can determine the output. This is also known as dry run. All right, fine. So that is what the loop terminates out here. So now if we are going back a little bit to the palindrome program now, so this one I'm closing for you. Sorry, this one I'm closing. So I'm going back. Sorry, just a minute. Going back to the what you call palindrome program. You see the same thing has been done, only this part has been expanded. This particular part has been expanded. Okay, if s equals to p, means as n is changing throughout. Okay, so we have first only stored n into p, otherwise we will not get the value, because n is changing all the time. And at last, when the reverse number has been generated, we have checked it with s equals to p. If the reverse number and the original number are equal, in that case it is a palindrome number. Say for example 3443. Okay, see, it is a palindrome. All right, now say if we were executing this particular thing, run module, say I'm executing say 5679 and send entering, then it is not a palindrome. Same logic has been incorporated up to here. It is like the reverse number, then the already the number has been picked up into another variable, as n is changing throughout the program, and afterwards the reverse, and that particular variable has been compared to get a palindrome number. All right. So after the palindrome and reverse program, reverse number program, we are going bit a little of bit program, that is a if but. Why it is important? Such a small program, if you read the content, you will be able to understand why it is so important. Here, what is happening? This program is actually checking whether you are entering a character which is a vowel or not. Simple if statement, but here it is important, that is the in operator here. In operator is a associative operator, you know. It actually shows the association of a particular value within a set of values. So here I have taken, you can see a, e, I, o, u, all five vowels have been taken, and checking if ch is the input, the character, you are inputting the character, if that character is within this particular limit. Very easy program to understand, but it's very important also. At the same time, of course, you require in sometimes while doing the big programs. Okay, that is why the in operator has been discussed. Okay, this is an associative association operator, associative operator, whatever you say. Okay, so the thing is that I'm executing this program. The logic is very easy to understand. When you are inputting this particular number, what is happening? Say you have entered y. Okay, you have entered the capital Y, small y, whatever y. Now, what is happening? If you are entering, it is giving you the error. Why I have shown you the error? Because many of you may understand that how to enter a string, how to enter a character, that you don't know. So you enter plain way like this, enter a character simply. So it is giving you a traceback error. Now follow this error. Name error, name y is not been defined. Means it is saying that the string has to be entered either in single quote or into double quote whenever you are inputting. All right, so run. I'm doing now. I'm giving here simple y. Okay, I'm entering y. Now how I am entering y? You see y in the single quote. You enter, it is saying enter character is not a vowel. Why? Because y does not fall within this particular limit, and it is showing that the condition has become false, and it is showing enter character is not a vowel. Now I am executing once more this one. I'm running executing the module. Okay, so simply now I should not forget here. I'm giving this time double quote. Okay, double quote, single quote, anything you can give. Suppose I'm giving now I. All right, I enter. It is giving again error. Why? Both side does not match. Okay, now I'm giving executing once again this one with I. Okay, so what is happening? I. Now it is okay. Now you see it is showing me that right thing. So don't mix up the quotes. You give either single quote or you give double quotes. Don't mix up, and don't enter the character without having single or double quote. Okay, otherwise it will generate error. All right, so this is the way. So I has been falling over here. Okay, let us see one small letter also that we will see. There I'm entering, say small e o. Okay, o. All right, small o, and enter. Yes, enter character is a vowel. So that is the functionality of the in operator that have been used in the program effectively in order to check whether the entered character is a vowel or not. Okay, so that's all for today, and I will hope that you must take the program practically, implement the things practically, and do the manipulation in the programs and all, and try to develop new programs by yourself. All right, then thank you.